A room with a view. If you were looking for a room with a view somewhere here in the valley of the Loire, about 150 miles west of Paris, and you went along to a house agent to see what he had to offer, he might very well send you here to the village of Trôo. When you got here, you'd find that the view was everything that you might expect and want. But you might be just a little surprised by the accommodation that he was offering you. In fact, very surprised. Because it might be something like that. A cave, a hole in the side of the hill. Now, you might think this was a bad taste joke on the part of the house agent, because after all, it's a long time since our ancestors used flint axes and lived in caves. But it wouldn't be, and you wouldn't need to stay very long here in Trôo till you discovered why. These holes are inhabited. In this one village with a population of only 600, 30 families still live in caves. In other villages along the valley, there are around 50 more underground homes. And the people who live in them, the troglodytes, are by no means looked down upon or despised. This old gentleman has lived in a cave for most of his 95 years, and as the oldest inhabitant of Trôo, he's respected as much as anyone. The fact that he's survived to such a venerable age does say something for the cavernous life. In this part of France, even if you don't live in a cave, there's a good chance you'll work in one. Even if you live in a house, there'll be a cave to store wine and potatoes, to entertain guests or garage the car, for growing mushrooms or stabling horses. Even the village bakery is in a cave, so no one's surprised if you happen to live in one. Mind you, cave dwelling does have its snags. This might have been quite adequate just for Madame Boiron and her husband. But since the day they moved in, there have been 6 additions to the family. And it's not so easy to make a new bedroom in a cave cut from the solid rock. Not only that, but before you can enlarge these properties, there has to be a special permission from the Inspector of Mines. And that's not easy to get. But however cramped the space, there is one advantage to be gained from living underground. Winter and summer, whatever the weather, the temperature stays much the same. Even when it's well below freezing, the troglodytes of Trôo can stay snug in their homes with only the minimum of heating. In the summer, they enjoy cool, air-conditioned comfort. Perhaps it's this that has recommended the troglodyte life to the people of Trôo for so long. The whole of this hillside is honeycombed with caves that have been lived in and worked in for 600 years. In the 11th and 12th centuries, this was a fortified town of 4,000 souls, and to get the stone to build the castle and the churches, the quarrymen burrowed deep into the hillside. Behind these houses are 3.5 miles of galleries and caverns and underground workings. And many of the troglodytes are living at the entrances and exits of an underground maze, living much as their ancestors did 6 centuries ago. 30 years ago, all these caves were lived in by local people, by the villagers of Trôo. But since then, there's been a revolution. If you're feeling sorry for these poor wretches who are forced to live in holes in the ground, then you can forget your pity from now on. Because very soon, there won't be any holes left for them to live in. They'll all have been bought out by these smart set from Paris. Cave dwelling has become the chic way to spend your summer holidays, your weekends, and your money.